sunsets and skies so blue. Mountains whisper stories of dreams so true. From oceans roaring wild to valleys deep, a heartbeat of a nation that will not sleep. Save South Africa, rise above the storm. Hands together strong, a new world is born. Beauty in our hearts, let it light the way. Evil cannot reign when we seize the day. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The soil holds our history, roots run so long. A melody of freedom, we're singing strong. They may curse the land with lies they weave, but we hold the truth in what we believe. Their crowns may crumble, their thrones may fall, for the power is the people's above it all. Save South Africa, rise above the storm. Hands together strong, a new world is born. Beauty in our hearts, let it light the way. Evil cannot reign when we seize the day. People sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme.
Today?
The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The soil holds our history, roots run so long. A melody of freedom, we're singing strong. They may curse the land with lies they weave and weave, but we hold the truth in what we believe. Their crowns may crumble, their thrones may fall, for the power is the people above it all. We know it all. Side by side.
Good evening, America. Unless you're watching from California, then maybe not so good. Just kidding. Sort of, it's your favorite president, some say the best ever. And tonight, I've got a few things to say. So grab your popcorn, turn off the fake news, and let's talk about what's really going on. It's going to be good, really good.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming, it's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Sunday, June 1st, 2025. Welcome to all the Neanderthals, the Canines, and the right-wing podcasters back once again. Thank you, Nota, for that greeting. We use that as a regular basis for the program now. Thanks a lot, folks. Welcome back on a Sunday. You can't cancel all of us. You're more than welcome to try. Well, they succeeded. They canceled me. Back in the day, they canceled me, and I'm not even a conspiracy wackadoodle. They just didn't like the truth. They did not like the truth. What's going on there, folks? Welcome back to the program. It's a Sunday. And what are we going to talk about today? Quite a bit, actually. Quite a bit more news here. Whoa, that's loud. Got that cranked up. Thank you, Brian Myers, for becoming a subscriber. Thank you very much. Anthony, Michael Fun, something gave 140 Anthony Michael Funsfield gave 140 rand. Thank you for that, Anthony. Appreciate the super chat. Welcome to everybody. I'm not going to be able to get to everybody in the chat right now, so hey, Mad Max. Farm attack on the R45 Franz Hook leaves 2 injured. Violent farm attack occurred in the early hours on a private farm. Yeah. Well, no, Max, that's not true. I mean, I've been assured that it's just crime. There's no targeting of people. Wow. By the way, folks, did you see the News 24 story, headline story today about the refugee program? Apparently, it's just for Afrikaners. Yeah, and apparently I claimed it was for Afrikaners, according to News 24. Courtney, apparently you aren't watching the program because I've only done this like 9 or 10 times since I came back 2 weeks ago. But this was a kind gift that Courtney McBride gave to me. I've showed this many, many times in the program. Thank you so much for that. It's a first day edition stamped. Those who've been watching the program regularly, Courtney, can assure you that I have been showing that several times in hopes that you're in the chat, but you never respond. I guess you've been busy. Anyway, folks, welcome back to the program on a Sunday, and we need to get right to it. Lots going on here. If you want, you'll be redirected to Ronaldo Ho's program after this. Francois Dieger gave 14 Rand super chat. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. All right, Karen Grunewald, welcome to you. All right, so people asking for our email address. Look, folks, I'm going to say something very quickly here. Heidi Kruger gave €6. Thank you for that. Good evening, Neanderthals, dogs, right-wing podcasters, and car guards. We need to add car guards to that. You're correct. We need to add the car guards. That's right. Thank you for the car guards, South Africa. We really appreciate the car guards. I like the South African farmer who did that. And then they try to attack him. Oh, well, if you took advantage of apartheid, you'd be a pilot instead of just a farmer. And then he comes back and says, actually, I'm a helicopter pilot. I love it. I love it. The stupidity of black racist and white racist is so stupid. Anyway, folks, 2 videos published this morning. One just published before this broadcast about News 24 story. And they're too lazy to ask. I mean, look, Network 24 is in contact with me. They've asked me questions. CBS has asked me questions. And the New York Times has asked me questions, all of whom have quoted me at one point or another, and they're welcome to. They also don't have to contact me, but don't write a story about me and then get it factually wrong when it's right there for everyone to see. It's right there for the world to see. I mean, honestly, these people just are beyond the pale. Their silliness. I mean, let me just show you this very quickly here. So that's not what I want. Hang on a second. Here it is. So this is a screen capture from my tweet that I posted on Twitter, in which they claim I said Afrikaners, and I never said that. Courtney McBride, $1.99. Thank you for the super chat, Courtney. Appreciate that. And then, where's that at? So, where's Courtney's super chat? Whoa, we got a lot of chat going on here. Thank you. Sorry, I've been... No, you don't have to apologize. Thank you for the $2. I just want to let you know that I showed everyone I got. I was very grateful for it. Look forward to the program. At least the car guards also have a chance to live a life smiling from ear to ear. No doubt about that. But let me show you this, folks, very quickly here. This is the screen capture of my tweet right there. See, big news. South African families land safe in America. A second group of South African refugees have landed. Do you see anything in there that says Afrikaner? No. Do you see anything that says white? No, because they weren't Afrikaners and white. They're South Africans. This obsession with racial effort to diminish the sufferings of South Africans is obvious. Stephen, welcome to you. Thank you, Stephen Strider, for becoming a member. Appreciate your support for the channel. Yeah, wow. So Vincent Focus says that farm attack is just down the road from your family. Wow, good Lord. Yes, Cheryl Kruger. I know how many people went in the second group. The Amerikaners have incorrectly reported the number. They don't have the actual number. I know the number. Maybe they're trying to intentionally mislead people so that people drop it. But yeah, no, they've got the number wrong. And I'm not sharing it. It's nobody's business. Nobody's business. And you can count on the third group. If they're not already here, probably on their way. So just relax and get a grip. People need to stop asking these questions and stop intruding into privacy of those people who are fleeing South Africa because of their safety and the unjust racial discrimination. So Erica's here. Erica, did you catch Plek in de Zonne? That was for you. We always do that on Sunday. Sorry, folks. Looks like I'm stuck with this crap from South Africa forever. Anyway, back to the news. Let's get started. The first story I want to talk about here today is the one that News 24 ran earlier today. It's by Soyiso Malin. I can't really read that. African refugees leaving USA, South Africa, USA in commercial flights. Duh. What have I been telling you all for a long time? They'll be coming in commercial flights. The charter flight was a one-off. South Africans thought they were clever, could stop the flight. So you're going to have to stop all international air traffic if you're going to keep people from coming to America. Because we'll simply route them through Europe if we have to on British Airways, KLM, Air France, Ethiopian, whatever it takes. Yeah, cockprot I should put on my merch. I should make that, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so they go on as mentioning all sorts of stuff. Now, I'm mentioned in the story. I appreciate the journalist mentioning the story. He says it was claimed on a social media post on Saturday that a second group had arrived in the U.S. According to the social media post, several Afrikaners flew to the U.S. earlier this weekend. No details about the number who had left were provided in any of the posts. Yeah, because it's nobody's business. An American content creator and political analyst, Chris Wyatt, shared a video about South Africans seeking refuge in the U.S. In the video posted on X by @WMW Chris, Wyatt reported that his sources had told him about the landing of more Afrikaners on May 30th. That's a lie. That's a lie. Watch the video. It's a little over a minute. I didn't say Afrikaners. I said South Africans. Didn't say Afrikaners. You see how they intentionally distort and mislead? Why? Their colors came over. They're not Afrikaners, are they? Maybe they consider themselves Afrikaners. But it's not for Afrikaners. I never said Afrikaners. Yep. And then they mentioned Katya Beeden. Katya, are you here? They mention you in the story as well. So I'm driving the media news cycle in South Africa. That's interesting. Here's a story. John Elligan wrote this with Zimasa Matawane. I don't know who that is. Anyway, this is John Elligan from the New York Times. John wrote this story. It's a pretty good story, actually. Pretty fair and objective. Not entirely correct, but fair and objective. And Thea was interviewed for this. I hosted the interview on Zoom session. So Afrikaners see Trump as the ally who heard our cries. Thousands of white South Africans are jockeying to get in the next flight to the United States as refugees. They say the backlash against the community is unfair. That's true. Thousands of white South Africans are jockeying, but so are Indians and coloreds. So we get down here and it mentions Thea, but doesn't mention that I had any role in this. Sambusa is mentioned here. Okay. And then somewhere down here, we get a little bit further. Let me find this here. So Jonathan Jackson and Ro Kahana, two demon rat congressmen, said in a statement last week that Trump was peddling lies. His false narrative of white genocide is profoundly insulting and harmful to those who face centuries of discrimination and violence under colonialism and apartheid in South Africa. And of course, the New York Times fails to use the correct usage of the word apartheid. Apartheid is not a verb or an adjective. It is a noun. It is a noun, and it should be capitalized, a proper noun of a program. But they try to diminish it by putting it down. This is stupid leftist tactics. Anyway, so Afrikaners looking to take Mr. Trump on his invitation say the backlash against the community is unfair. We were given an opportunity, and we're extremely grateful for it, said Thea van Straten, one of 59 Afrikaners to come to the United States, said in an interview. Somebody heard our cries. My question is, why not us? Why should we not be rescued? She said she's gotten refugees from all over the world since arriving in the United States. None of them criticized her for being an Afrikaner. Every single one of them said, we don't understand why you're being hammered because you didn't make that decision. You're caught in the middle. Ms. van Straten, who owned a guest house, said she was a victim of 4 attacks. She said she had to do 3 separate interviews with U.S. officials before being accepted as refugee. Interviewers did not ask for proof of the attacks. There you go. So Thea mentioned in the story. And that was from an hour-long conversation, those 2 paragraphs. Wow. A lot of work went into that story for John Elligan, and it's a pretty good story. But quoting Ro Kahana, who is a violently anti-white black supremacist, is really not the best source of information there. Olerato Mongale fought for her life against her attackers. Her killers were involved in 22 cases that targeted women, according to Deputy Police Minister. The 30-year-old former Wits student who was killed after going on a date last Sunday has been described by her family as a fighter who fought to the end. Last week, police named 3 suspects linked to the killing. On Friday, one of them shot at police who returned fire and killed in a residential complex in Amanzimtoti. Unbelievable. We're still searching for one of them. He and this other guy were working together in their syndicate that was targeting women in various malls across the country. Our investigation is now standing at 22 cases that they are linked to, that these 2 criminals. Women from across the country have positively identified them as the pair that kidnapped and robbed them. Yet they've done it 22 times and South African authorities can't find them. They know who they are and they can't find them after 22 assaults. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, Utopi, let them ask refugee questions. Obviously, it's inconsiderate realizing that I'm doing the news and you're asking questions of me about refugee programs. Very inconsiderate. This is me talking about the news, not about refugee. Please have a little consideration here. And stop filling the chat with them. And there's the next question about refugees. Enough, enough, enough. Gauteng police seek information in the murder, the assassination of IFP Deputy Chief Whip. Sitole was gunned down Saturday afternoon in Katlehong in what his party has described as assassination. Another senior IFP official murdered. Gee, I wonder who's behind this. We know who was behind it in the 1980s. in early 90s. Well, folks, asthma. South Africa has a high incidence of asthma, as do many countries, but South Africa is one of the highest death mortality rates from asthma because of its broken healthcare system and the stupidity of South African politicians. Asthma, 15% are affected, but death rate is among the worst globally. Around 15% of the population lives with asthma, but South Africa ranks the country with the highest asthma-related mortality. UCT Lung Institute's Professor Richard van Zyl-Smit said estimates are that between 15 and 20% of children are asthmatic and 15% of adults are diagnosed. The Global Asthma Network found that South Africa ranked 25th worldwide for asthma prevalence and 5th for asthma mortality, with an estimated 18.5 deaths per 100,000, attributed to the lack of appropriate diagnosis, treatment, or access to care. And all it takes is these inhalers to keep people from dying. People can't afford them. But the ANC can afford BMW 8 Series for Minister Pala. Well, South Africans are bumhurt because they failed again to receive a top post. They failed in SADC. Now they failed the African Development Bank. Well, South Africa shouldn't be leading the African Development Bank. South Africa's country is graylisted for its financial transactions in allowing money laundering and terrorism financing. Why in the world would you allow a banker from South Africa to go be in charge of the African Development Bank when your country can't even regulate its own banking successfully? It's silly. Did the African Development Bank not matter, or did Gondwana sleep on the job? Well, this attack on Enoch Gondwana is pathetic. This is a reflection of South Africa's unreliability. Our humiliation this week in what now looks like a misguided attempt to fight for the presidency of the powerful African Development Bank tells a different story. South Africa threw its weight behind Swazi Shabalala, a respected banker who served as the deputy from 2020 until she made a bid for the top post last year. She lost out to Mauritania's Sidi Ould Tah. A rejection of Shabalala's is perforce a rejection of our country. But the truth is that before Africa rejected us, we were rejected by SADC when it put forward Zambia's Samuel Maimbo, a senior executive of the World Bank, who also failed to make the grade. This is because South Africa is a joke to the rest of Africa. Dramatic finish at Kings Park, ladies and gentlemen. What a finish to that contest yesterday. That rugby was unbelievable. If you didn't watch it, if you didn't listen to Rugby Ascendant, my color commentary and play-by-play, you missed out. Oh my goodness, what a contest. What an absolutely cracker of a game. That game sucked in the first half. A terrible, boring, pathetic, error-strewn first half. The Sharks with a dozen knock-ons and mishandlings. Wow. Unforced errors. And then the second half, wow, what a game. What a game. The Sharks come back and take the lead 24-21, only to be tied up by Connor Murray, kicking the ball across and tying it up just before expiration of time. They go to 10-minute extra time. Nobody scores. Another 10-minute extra time. Nobody scores. Then they go to a kickoff. Wow. They start on the 22 from the center and from each corner, hash mark, and then they move back to the 10-meter line. The three players for the Sharks, Jaden Hendrickson, kicking from the straight-on position because he's the worst of the kickers. Jordan Hendrickson from the right hash mark, who's a very good kicker. And then Bradley Davids comes in, who had been on the bench for almost the entire game, but as a kicking specialist, little known to most people, Bradley Davids came on, and his kick sealed the victory in the quarterfinal for the Sharks, sending the Sharks from Hollywood Bets Kings Park in Durban to the first ever semifinal in the United Rugby Championship, guaranteeing that for the first 4 years of existence as the URC, there will be a South African team in the final. The first season, of course, was the Stormers hosting the Bulls at a half-empty stadium because of the COVID scam taking place in Cape Town, and the Stormers won that game. Then the next year, the Stormers hosted the game again and lost to Munster. Then last year, the Bulls went to the final and they lost to Glasgow when they should have won the game. Stupid decision, cost them the game. And this year, another South African side, either the Bulls or the Sharks, will be in the final. If the Sharks get there, that will mean that 3 South African sides in 4 years have made the final. If the Bulls get there, that means that the Stormers will have gone to 2 finals and the Bulls will have gone to 2 finals. And the Bulls must win this one so they can break even. But Anthony Michael says, Cockprod is rich in stupidity. My belief is the embassy worked through applications and order availability. The application, yeah, that's part of it, Anthony. That's a fair statement, but they also have a lot to work through. Thank you for the 7-rand super chat. What a finish at Kings Park, folks. Unbelievable. Bradley Davids is the hero, and he deserves it. But my man of the match was Andre Esterhuizen. Sharks qualify for the semifinals dramatic fashion. Match ended 24-24 in regulation, saw 2 10-minute halves, and nobody scored. Then the Hendrickson brothers, along with Bradley Davids, stepped up and kicked all 6 through the post. Wow. Unfortunately for Munster, Rory Scandal. Now, Munster, of course, was the champions a couple seasons ago, defeating the Stormers in Cape Town in a shock disappointment. So, redress requires the economy to grow. Well, duh. Interesting story here. This is by Peter Bruce. Excuse me. I'm not sure that Peter picked the headline. Peter Bruce, a respected journalist. God bless it. Peter Bruce, a respected journalist in South Africa, is writing a story that's full of nonsense, and I'm going to have to make a video and rubbish this, Peter. I'm sorry, but I do respect you as a journalist, but what you say here is total cockprod. So, he said, U.S. President Trump's propensity to tell lies turns out to have done South Africa some good. What lies, Peter? In the process, the genocide accusation has been comprehensively discredited. Well, the genocide accusation wasn't made by Trump. The genocide accusation is made by you and the media, not by Trump. Trump didn't say that. You guys did it. Terry, thank you for becoming a member. Oh, a bunch of members coming up here. Turn the alert box off. Yeah, that's not Trump. Yep. Unbelievable. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. So, what is the IOL's absolute obsession with Rachel Khaleesi? Do they want to date her? I mean, she's not exactly a smoking hot model. I mean, why are they obsessed with Rachel Khaleesi? She's not even married to Sia Khaleesi anymore. Why the obsession? Endless stories this year. This must be like the 15th story this season already about Rachel Khaleesi. Why? Why? And I'm only showing this because it's starting to get very annoying. How about reporting on the news instead of Rachel Khaleesi? Your obsession with Rachel Khaleesi is dangerous. Relatable Rachel, former WAG, embraces the real life in a trusty Toyota Yaris. What kind of story is this, Sareen Clorn? She may have once been behind the wheel of a Land Rover or luxury Mercedes-Benz, but these days she goes to school with a little Toyota Yaris. Who cares? Who cares? I mean, honestly, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. This love affair with Rachel Khaleesi. Nigeria has detained troops and police for alleged sale of weapons to militants. Wow. The Nigerian military is detaining 30 soldiers and police officers for allegedly stealing weapons from stockpiles and selling them to armed groups, including jihadists. Jiminy Cricket. The Army launched an operation in August as a response to incessant cases of arms and ammunition theft. So far, 18 soldiers, 15 mobile policemen, and 8 civilians, including a traditional ruler, have been arrested. A few soldiers motivated by greed have been involved in ammunition racketeering, deliberately diverting arms from military stockpiles and supply chains to terrorists. What the hell? Death penalty. Death penalty. Because they've caused the death of people. The United States says that Hamas's actions puts the peace proposal backward. Officials said Hamas was seeking changes on guarantees for permanent end to war. That has long been the core sticking point with Israel. White House denounced Hamas's response yesterday to a new American ceasefire proposal as totally unacceptable and said it only takes us backwards. Under the U.S. proposal, which was floated by Steve Witkoff, President Trump's Mideast envoy, Israel and Hamas would halt the fighting for 60 days, during which some hostages would be freed in exchange for Palestinians jailed by Israel. Yep, well, Hamas doesn't want peace, so they try to upset it again. Schools in China shutting down for the new version of Rona, just in time to rubbish Trump's administration again and blame Trump for China's biological wars. Schools in China reportedly isolate students as Rona cases surge. Chinese regime's ongoing cover-up is endangering the world as it's not possible to track spreading routes, one expert said. Doctors and residents across China continue to report more infections and deaths as the latest wave of Rona continues, portraying a far more severe situation than the Chinese regime is letting on. Schools in various provinces reportedly suspending classes and placing students in quarantine, leading to growing concerns among the public of a return to lockdowns. A home quarantine notice issued by the primary school in Guangzhou and circulated by Chinese netizens on China's TikTok equivalent Douyin before being posted on social media X, before censors could delete it, has attracted widespread attention. Of course, the censors in China delete it to leave the public at risk. A new variant, just in time to rubbish Donald Trump's administration, coming out of the Chinese communists. The NB.1.8.1 started to spread worldwide. Officials in several countries near the Chi-Coms have expressed concern. The World Health Organization has said that the Rona-19 variant NB.1.8.1 is causing more infections worldwide, as China's health agency said it's the dominant variant. The new strain of the variant, under monitoring by the UN Health Body last week, while U.S. Centers for Disease Control confirmed a small number of cases were circulating in the United States. Wow. Reports from China, which is covering up the latest Rona scandal. There you go. China warns the United States not to play with fire over Taiwan. Beijing says U.S. is touting Cold War mentality after Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth calls China a threat to the region. China is warning the United States against playing with fire over Taiwan in response to U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth calling Asian power a threat to the region. Speaking of the Shangri-La dialogue, Hegseth said China is credibly preparing for military action. U.S. should not entertain illusions about using Taiwan question as a bargaining chip to contain China, nor should it play with fire. And the Chinese communists should understand that the jig is up. The world realizes you're evil, murderous thugs who steal intellectual property, violate copyright laws and trademark protections. And you're going down. You're going down. South Korea finally votes after the tumultuous, suspension of government. Election called after President Yoon Suk-yeol was removed from office over his decision to declare martial law. Political divisions have only worsened in the country. South Koreans head to the polls on Tuesday to vote for a new president 2 years early, following the impeachment removal of Yoon Suk-yeol for declaring martial law, which he did under the law. So this impeachment was illegitimate. In typical South Korean style, campaign rallies have felt like a K-pop performance, complete with choreographed dance moves and boppy tunes. But the serious issues of martial law, impeachment, and democratic norms all loom large as voters cast their ballots. They're all voting for their own version of what democracy is. Well, we shall see what democracy is. We shall see what democracy is. Ukraine says it's destroyed dozens of warplanes deep inside Russia. Again, I thought they were fighting a defensive war, but here they are attacking targets inside Russia. Clandestine drone attack, 18 months in planning, deals the biggest blow of the war to Moscow's long-range bomber fleet. Ukraine launched audacious drone attacks on 4 military airports inside Russia, destroying more than 40 warplanes in the biggest blow of the war against Moscow's long-range bomber fleet. The attack, dubbed Spider's Web, took a year and a half to prepare. Significant victory for Ukraine's deep strike program, which used drones to target crucial material on Russia's soil. Ukrainian intelligence officials said the agency moved dozens of small quadcopter drones to Russian territory, then moved wooden containers to Russia, which were used to hide the drones. When it came to time to strike, the containers were placed on trucks and the lids of the containers were opened remotely. The swarm of drones flew out to find their targets. Losing dozens of long-range aircraft vital to Russia's nuclear forces and attacks on Ukraine could gravely damage Russia's military strength. It no longer produces the Tupolev 95 MS or the Tupolev 22 M3 planes that were among those damaged. Russia, before the attacks, had 54 Tu-22s and 58 Tu-95s. It's unclear how many of those are operational. So Ukraine, claiming defensive campaign, attacks deep in Russia. 2 dead and nearly 500 arrested as Paris celebrates a Champions League victory. Paris Saint-Germain won against Inter Milan in the Champions League final, and Parisians did what they always do. They looted, they burned, and they murdered. That's what the French do. Massive street celebrations erupt in the French capital after the city's premier soccer team won its first European-wide Champions League title last night, but violence marred the festivities, police reporting hundreds of arrests and injuries. 2 deaths reported in France. In Paris, a man in his 20s died after he was hit by a car in an incident that is being investigated as possibly related to the match. And in southwest France, a teenager was stabbed to death. 491 arrests and other violence and property damage, prompting Interior Minister Bruno Retailleau to say the thugs had descended on the streets of Paris. Yep. Most of the incidents around the Champs-Élysées and the Parc des Princes Stadium. Thousands of people intent on creating chaos faced off against law enforcement and burned vehicles. At least 4 stores were looted in the Champs-Élysées. Other stores were targeted by people who broke windows. 192 people were injured in the clash, including 4 severely. 9 police and military personnel were lightly injured. Welcome to France. And you want to bet most of those people aren't even French. Not even French. Poland votes for a new president in a pivotal runoff election. Could determine whether Poland pursues a more nationalist governing approach or moves toward liberal policies. Citizens of Poland headed to the polls on June 1st for presidential runoff election. Liberal pro-European Union candidate Warsaw Mayor Rafael Trzaskowski is facing off against Karol Nawacki, a conservative of the right-wing Law and Justice Party. And we shall see which direction Poland heads. Well, the Trump administration says the tariffs are here to stay. Ha ha ha. Yeah, President's top aides insist tariffs are here to stay. President Trump's top economic advisor stressed on Sunday they would not be deterred by a recent court decision that found many of Trump's administration tariffs to be illegal. No, they didn't find them illegal. The court illegitimately said they're beyond the president's purview. But in fact, the law has not been declared unconstitutional. Therefore, the court has stepped beyond its bounds. Yep, the Supreme Court will find that the law is legitimate and they will be reinstated. Rest assured, tariffs are not going away, Lutnick told Fox News, Commerce Secretary. Governors Hochul, Pritzker, and Walz, all scumbag, hateful, anti-white, anti-Christian, privileged little turds from Minnesota and Illinois and New York, 3 gone, wasted leftist disaster areas, will be forced to testify about their illegal sanctuary policies. You have to explain to House Committee their state's immigration policies in cooperation with federal law enforcement. Won't it be interesting to see Governor Walz, Timmy Walz, little Timmy, the stolen valor boy from Minnesota, arrested for violating federal immigration law? Wouldn't that be exciting? 3 demon rat governors will testify before House lawmakers next month about their state's illegal sanctuary policies. Governors J.B. Pritzker, a rich, privileged tubbalard, Tim Walz, a stolen valor liar, and Kathy Hochul, the demon rat from New York, are scheduled to provide testimony on June 12th. They must explain their state's illegal immigration policies in cooperation with federal immigration enforcement to the House Oversight Committee, according to Chair James Comer. There you go. So we'll see what they have to say, how they defend their illegal activities. 2 refugee families. Well, look at this. New York, the Washington Post actually reports on facts. 2 refugee families, 2 very different experiences. The Langtons from South Africa given a fast track to refugee status. The Mahar's family from Myanmar is struggling after cuts to refugee resettlement agencies. Well, how long have they been here? After years of living in makeshift hut and refugee camps in the woods of Bangladesh, Shom Mahaz boarded an airplane for the first time in her life and flew across the world in August. Okay? August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. April exceeds the amount of time that refugee assistance is provided. Yet they're going to lie to us and tell us that these people have illegitimately lost their refugee support, which is a fiction. A fiction. Washington Post lying. We know that because of underfunding for the program for several years, that refugees only get financial assistance for maximum 8 months, even though it's legally authorized for 3 years. So they're going to sit here and lie about what's going on. She and her family endured the unthinkable. Myanmar military officers kidnapped and raped young women. Neighbors were rounded up and shot before their very eyes. They told officials who spent over 2 years vetting them as refugees about how their home had been burned to the ground. Thousands of miles away in South Africa, Earl Langton also experienced violence firsthand. Decades earlier, he said he had been stabbed 15 times by a black intruder. He believes the crime is part of the pattern of attacks on Afrikaners, though there is no evidence of broader campaign of targeted violence against farmers. Actually, there is, Washington Post. You're just lying about it. There is evidence of a broader campaign. We've demonstrated. When 12% of a population is murdered in the course of 30 years, well, then maybe that is a broader campaign. Yep, now both being resettled by Inspiritus, a refugee resettlement nonprofit that has helped thousands of people rebuild their lives in the South. The president paused and reduced funding for agencies assisting refugees after taking office. As a result, Inspiritus was cut more than 50% of its refugee-serving staff. It has also had to scale back programs to help refugees with urgent medical needs. It's using what remains of this funds to help refugees who arrived before Trump's inauguration and the South African family that landed in Alabama in May. For Maraz's family, those cuts have added to the struggles. Nobody in the family speaks fluent English. They don't understand the bills arriving mail. Okay, I'm sorry. How the hell have you been in America since August and you don't speak English? As a 19-year-old, I went to Germany in 1984, and in 4 months I spoke German. 4 months. That's despite spending 12 to 15 hours a day with Americans. In 4 months, I learned German well enough to communicate, to read newspapers, and to speak as a 19-year-old. Nobody in that family speaks English after 8 months. And you want empathy? You want sympathy? No. They get free English classes. They're too lazy to learn the language. Too lazy. Wow. They don't understand the bills arriving in the mail and are finding it hard to afford groceries. Well, that's what the refugee resettlement price. So you're telling me that in 8 months, the refugee resettlement assistance folks, the agents from Imperatus, haven't explained how to read a freaking bill? Haven't explained how to read a bill? Here's my cable bill. You haven't shown them how to read a bill? And they didn't get someone to translate the terms? You didn't write it down? Are you freaking lazy and stupid? Dear Mr. Wyatt, thank you for choosing Xfinity. Your bill at a glance. Here's your address. Your previous bill was this amount. Your car payment on May 4th was this amount. Your balance brought forward to zero. Your new charges are this amount. Amount due June 11th, 2025. Here's the little voucher to mail it in at the bottom of the page. And here's a breakdown of all the costs. The outrageously high price I pay for cable. $302 per month. Over 6,000 Rand. Seriously? Seriously. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. How in the world can you spend 8 months in America and not understand how to read your bills and not speak English? And you want sympathy? You want empathy? I'm sorry. No, I'm not buying that. Wow. And they're finding it hard to afford groceries. Hey, welcome to America. We're all finding it hard to afford groceries. And you're getting money for free from the government. They're largely relying on a volunteer group associated with the mosque to conduct a mosque in Alabama. Conduct basic tasks like getting their children enrolled in school. Excuse me. What kind of horse manure is that? It's June. The school year is over. They came in August at the beginning of the school year. They didn't get these kids enrolled in school in August? Why not? Why not? Why did they wait 8 months and now they're lying? This is bullshit. Total bullshit. They've been here for 8 months since August. And they can't get their kids enrolled in school? What a crock of nonsense. What a total crock of nonsense. Washington Post, you are fraudulent propagandists. Langton and his family speak fluent English and are hoping to establish a farm in the U.S. like the one they had. Good luck with that. Land's expensive, Mr. Langton. The the father of four, said he's been working with Inspiritus to ensure housing and employment. His family's arrival as part of the first group of Afrikaners admitted the country's refugees has added to criticism of Trump's immigration policies. So listen to this. These programs are made for people who are running away, hiding in bathrooms so they don't get raped, living under gunfire, living with flies and fleas for months and years, trying to fend for themselves, said Hazim Abu Huli. Who the hell is Hazim Abu Huli? Is he from the Mackenzies of Aberdeen? Hazim Abu Zubuli? A volunteer assisting refugee families in Birmingham. There's a big difference. Yeah, the big difference is you're full of crap. Read the Immigration Nationality Act. The program is not designed for people who are fighting off flies, you moron. These stupid garbage. I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of this. Here they're featured in the story. Not long after Mehraz and her family decided to leave, joining an exodus of 1 million Rohingya fleeing to Bangladesh. After more than a week of walking, they arrived at the forest that today houses the largest international refugee camp in the world. Really? They have more than 650,000 people there? I think that's not true. Kenya has the biggest camp. They settled in Camp 22, which holds more than 24,000 refugees. That's not the largest. There's 650,000 living in Kenya in one camp. So you can't even get your facts right. In 2021, International Human Rights Organization began vetting them for resettlement as refugees. Families spent hours recounting their trauma. Over the next 2 years, they attended at least 5 meetings where officials checked their stories, took their fingerprints, and made sure they were up to date. They finally received good news. The U.S. would take them in. I was so happy, she says through an interpreter. The only thing is she'd heard the U.S. said it was a big country. Refugee camp is a higher population density than some of the most densely populated cities in the world. Anywhere with space sounded like heaven. A year later, the family boarded a plane in the U.S. At that point, they'd been in the refugee camp for 7 years and spent much of the refugee application process. They were assigned to resettle in Birmingham. I'm just so sick of this nonsense. These lies about how these programs work. Well, the White House is sending Congress a new bill to cut back taxpayer funding for propaganda, national public radio, public broadcasting, and USAID. Virtually zeroes out government support for national public radio and public broadcasting. Well, it shouldn't be. We shouldn't be paying anything for those programs. They're private, not for profits. Why are we funding those leftist outfits? $9.4 billion in cuts to federal spending. So they compete with commercial services and they spread government propaganda. So it's time they got cut. Long overdue. And that's the news, folks. That's the news for today. All right, let me get to the chat and see what's going on. No intent, exactly, Xavier Grayling. No intent to assimilate. And the Washington Post looks beyond that. Here, 8 months. I spent 4 months in Germany in 1984. And I went to work at 5:30 every morning. And if I was lucky, I got off at 6 p.m. And then I changed and rushed downtown to hang out. And oh, by the way, in that 4 months, I spent about a third of that time deployed on exercise, not near any Germans. So how in the world did I, as a 19-year-old, become fluent in German in 4 months? These people live in America where they're immersed in English. There's nothing else. There's nothing else in Alabama. Nobody speaks anything else in Alabama. They speak English. Yet they're too lazy to learn English and need an interpreter 8 months after their arrival. And they're crying that they can't get their kids enrolled in school because the mosque won't help them. What? That's what the resettlement agency's for. Inspiritists must do their job better. They're responsible for helping those people get enrolled in school in August, not today. What a crock. What a crock. Louise Stoltz, I think your question's self-evident. Haven't you asked that question here before? Or are there a lot of South Africans who've gotten divorced for business purposes and have kids? I've heard that question half a dozen times here. If you're not married, you're not married. You both have to apply. And the other one has to give permission so you can take the kid. And you have to hope you go together. You can do a statement of interest. Whoever you consider the head of household, put it down, say that's your family. Say you're no longer married. And we'll see what they say. But, I mean, if you got divorced for business purposes in South Africa, then why don't you just get remarried? What's the problem? Chris Wyatt, how's it going, man? Pure laziness. Exactly, Kathy. Hope you're having a great Sunday. Glad you're feeling better. Wish to know about the stream this morning. Well, Lindy, oh, you're back. Aren't you the one? No. You're not the one that had the reading problem. I always do a Sunday broadcast. I do a broadcast every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, unless I'm traveling or I've got consulting commitments at noon, 6 p.m. South African time. And I adjust my time to stay with 6 p.m. South African time. So when we have 7 hours, I do it 11 a.m. Every Sunday I'm here, every day. Even the Afrikaners can speak English in self-defense. Yep. I know of refugees, though someone who got family in the first group, teen school students attend summer camp involving their chosen sports. Coach finds team dedicated to sports. Lauren Clegg, what's going on? I mean, I know about America. Okay. We admire U.S. students that sometimes still work 1 or 2 jobs while they study. Here, most students cry about having to pay for studies. Exactly. I worked the entire time I attended university. The entire time. Every day I've ever attended university, I've worked. As a freshman in 1982, I worked in the cafeteria the entire year at minimum wage. When I went back to university in 1987, I worked the entire year as a disc jockey at a radio station making minimum wage. The second year I worked at UPS handling customer clients and packages and shipping packages, making $9 an hour back then in 1988. And then when I did graduate school, I worked full-time in the Army. I did it remote. Then I did graduate school again. I did it full-time, working. Every higher education, I've worked the entire time. Very impressed with the funding cuts at Harvard. So am I. So am I. Why do I talk about Greta? She's an idiot. I have friends in Alabama. You can have it. It sucks. Look at London, France, and Germany. Total chaos. Immigrants not even attempting to assimilate to their host country. Yep, send them back. Exactly. Dylan Comberg's birthday's today, folks. Happy birthday to Dylan. Happy birthday to Dylan. Can we get some hearts or some congratulations to Dylan on his 34th birthday anniversary? There you go. Happy birthday. Sent me an email. Please check. Okay, RG. Thank you. Okay, Rohingya Muslim who will battle in the West. Surely it makes sense to be taken by Malaysia. Exactly. Why would you come to the U.S.? Natasha Liebetrau. That's an interesting surname. Thank you for sharing the facts. Wish more South Africans get the truth. Well, yeah, I wish they could get their heads out of the sand and watch my channel. Cynthia as a sheet metal artisan of 15 years. I can't wait to bring my skills to America. But we aren't you a car guard? You're not a car guard? We are trying to get married before we apply, but Home Affairs is dicking around. Now trying to do private sector. It costs more. Okay, all right. Thank you, 1440. I have a question that I have been wondering about. When a person gets granted refugee status but is 68, such a person too old to be employed? No. There's federal laws against age discrimination. You can't bar people from working. But when you work past the age of retirement, which, depending on when you're born, 68, I think you might be able to retire at 65 or 67. For me, it's 69 because I was born after 1960. So you might still be grandfathered. If you work past the age of retirement or the age you start drawing Social Security benefits, your benefits are reduced by your income working. It's so evil. Hey, Tractor Champ. I'll be happy packing shelves, says Braun. And there's Arctic. What's going on, Leo Ferry? Okay. Selling stuff. My wife asked me why I'm selling it for 4 times more than what I told her I paid for it. Oh, Mad Max, you overpaid for things and you fibbed to your wife. Shame on you. Shame on you. Can't wait to wake up early and prep food for peeps that need to get to work on time. There you go, Tomahawk. Well, we're not quite 100,000, hot full biker. Not quite there. Why are Republicans struggling so much to codify the Doge cuts? I really hope because they're just as corrupt as the Democrats. I've said this all along. I ran for office last year in Pennsylvania for the state legislature, and I discovered just how evil and corrupt the Republican Party is. It's not much better than Democrats. There are a lot of good people in the Republican Party, like there's a lot of good people in the Democratic Alliance in South Africa, but that doesn't mean the party's good. No, the Republicans, no, they don't want to cut things because they're cowards. Members of Congress like their jobs. They like their perks. They like the self-enrichment, the self-aggrandizement, and the craving political power that they get and the attention they get from social media and from the media networks, and they don't like to give it up. They forget that they're there to serve the people. And so anything they can do to dole out handouts to people to curry favor, that's what they do. John Jarvis is here with all your lefties screaming about democracy. I was amused to discover that the word democracy does not appear in your Constitution. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. We're not a democracy. We've never been a democracy, John Jarvis. Thank you for your point. You made a very good point. We are a constitutional republic. This is a republic, a representative republic, not a democracy. New England has democracy. New England city councils, town councils, everybody shows up, everybody gets a vote. That's a democracy. We don't have a democracy. We have a representative democracy, a constitutional republic. Never had democracy. That's just a myth. Just like there's separation of church and state. No such thing, ladies and gentlemen. No such thing as separation of church and state. The First Amendment of the Constitution is quite clear on religion. And all it says is you can't establish a state religion like the Church of England. That's it. It says nothing about separation of church and state. That's total fiction created by scumbag leftists. So let's get to the First Amendment to the Constitution. There you go. Article 5, Article 7, First Amendment. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, which means you can't have a state church. That's it. That's it. So there is no such thing as separation of church and state. That's leftist skullduggery. Lies. You're not a car guard. Where do you get the training for car guard? Well, the car guard training you can get at Santon. You can get it Canal Walk. You can get it Ushaka, all these places. I'm 64. What if my prospects? I don't know, Dorian. I don't know who you are. I can't tell your prospects. I don't know how motivated and how hardworking you are, what kind of personality you have. You left Cape Town just in time. Our winter's arrived. Well, Glenn, I picked up your bug. Still got it. Hello, what's going on? Our arranged marriage is set for 2 weeks. Shotgun wedding. Cool, Tomahawk. I think some people see the words work, responsibility, and effort as a sentence of fatal disease. Zukoki, welcome to you. Sunday, well, have I had a nice Sunday? No, it's just now early afternoon. Just now early afternoon. Congratulations, Amanda, married 20 years December, and grandparents. Wow, Richard, awesome. Congratulations. The real Wesley Smith is here. Paul Doveton's back. George Bush believes in democracy. Well, who cares what George Bush believes in? I went into a coma. What? His wife said she'll have to sell it by... What? What are you talking about, Anna Marie? That's crazy. Amanda Lowe, what's going on? Gonna serve whoever needs chow. Okay. Have you seen Cash Patel and Dan Bongino's answer when asked about Jeffrey Epstein? No, I haven't seen it. What did they say, Silent Joe? Garrett Gillich, Epic German Beer Fest in Josie yesterday. Oh my goodness. Damn it, I missed it. Why are we called the Republic of South Africa, but we're a democracy? You're not a democracy, South Africa. You're not a democracy. You're a representative parliamentary system. That's what you are. Because people are too stupid to understand politics. I'm a political scientist. I understand it, but people are too stupid to understand it. They perpetrate and spread these terms around. They don't know. South Africa is not a true democracy. In fact, it's not even a true legitimate government, in my view. I mean, you don't vote for your representatives. You don't even vote. You vote for a party list. You vote for a color on a piece of paper. Ooh, green, black, and yellow. ANC. Blue. DA. What the heck is that? Orange. Freedom Front Plus. What the heck is that? That's not democracy. You're not even voting for people. And then those corrupt parties pick the people to represent you. No one says, thank you for all you do. It means a lot to us. You're very welcome. Thank you for the 50 Rand super chat. Wow, getting some super chats here. Going to make a Facebook Marketplace. No. Do not use Facebook Marketplace. That's a recipe for being murdered. Nope. Boar Bull is walking on thin ice. What did Boar Bull say? I didn't see it. You know, it's interesting because some people are like, well, how come you never answer my text? Well, if you don't put it at Colonel Chris Wyatt, then I don't necessarily see it. Sorry, I was a bit busy this weekend. Did you share the backup buddy for the victims of farm attack near Brits? No, I haven't shared that. I asked permission if I could do it. So, Ronaldo, you have a spanner. You can put it in there real quick if you want to do that. If you want to do the backup buddy, I don't have that. Let me see if I can find that handy. Thank you. Let me see. I gotta see if I find it here. Okay. I get the backup buddy link. Well, I didn't get the link, but it doesn't tell me what it's called. I wasn't sent the link. I was sent a screenshot, which isn't really helpful. Backup buddy. So now I've got to search for it. Let me search and see. See, this is the problem. You got to send people the link, folks. You can't just... And it's not coming up. It's backup buddy's so slow from this side. So anyway, yeah. So Ronaldo put that link in there. I don't have it. Okay, Canthan Pillay will be back on the program for Iconic with Canthan on Tuesday. Okay. Salute, Colonel. The only man who can command both a battlefield and a barbecue. Chris Rank, you'd already be a 5-star general. I wish. Yep. Older friend Rosa had to wait months and months for a bear certificate. Okay. I feel that the Democrats have gone completely woke and extreme, but Republicans not serving the people, in some ways hurting people. I don't disagree. Was in a mall parking lot this morning. I actually wanted to ask you to please tell me there are no car guards in the USA. Then I switched on TV and heard they're coming from South Africa. Indeed they are. You just WhatsApped it to me. Okay, thank you, Ronaldo. There it is. Got it. Okay. Got it. Copy link. Why doesn't Ronaldo just put it in there? If you guys want to support that, these are, that's the family that I know. So let's do this real quick. Paste and go. If people want to help them, let's see what happened. We raised, look, I'm not getting a habit of raising money for folks here, folks, but this one's personal. So I don't know where they're at now. They were at 16,000 last time I looked. Gosh, so 17,000. So, yeah. All right, I'm going to make a donation over there right now, folks, if you guys want to do that. 17, support for elderly farm attack victims in Brits. And they started 2 days ago at 17,000. Our beloved family members, an elderly couple living in their farm near Brits, became victims of a horrific farm attack. The man was wheelchair bound and his partner were awakened at 2 a.m. when intruders broke into the home. They bound them, severely beat them with an antique iron, and stole several of their possessions, leaving them traumatized and injured. The attack was not random, appears to have been methodically planned. May 21st, just days before the home invasion, their dogs were poisoned. The tires were stolen from their only vehicle, isolating them, preventing them from escaping and reaching help. They were without medical aid and insurance, making the recovery especially challenging. I didn't know they were without medical aid. That's interesting. All right, well, folks, I'm going to make a donation there right now. I'm going to make a donation right now. So I don't know if anyone else from the Wyatt Army wants to help. And I want to give a donation here. Okay. And, okay. Let me just put my information in here. Okay. Whoops, that's not right. This is twice this week I'm donating to a cause. We helped the little girl who couldn't hear. I don't want to give that big tip. It's too much. Okay. Okay, confirm. Let's see. All right. Okay. Put my card number in there very quickly. Going to need the reading glasses for this. Thank you for reminding me of this, Ronaldo. I forgot about this. Okay. Just kind of paying it back for the hospitality of my friends. 42 90 99 99. If this was a telephone, you'd know the number because you'd hear the beep. You can play it back and figure out what the number is, but it's not a telephone. Okay. Expiration date. Okay, over here. Okay, and the CVV. Where's the CVV? There it is. Okay. This took a minute last time because it's very slow. It has to go through proving that it's actually my account and me because it checks with my bank first. Yes, it's U.S. based. All right, so there we go. What it says not to become a citizen. Democrats have gone extremely woke. They have indeed. Josar Smith gave a super chat. Success. I didn't put a comment there this time. It didn't ask me for a comment. That's pretty lame. Last time I did a comment, so let's see what happens now. Okay, so let's see what happened. Come on, load. Backup Buddy's so slow for me when you're overseas, folks. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Still waiting for this page to load. Look at this, how slow it is. Okay, what happened there? That's odd. Okay. Okay, doesn't show my donation. Oh, that's weird. It said success. It's not loading the page. What a crock. Look at this. It won't load the page. Can anybody else see it? Cannot find any progress on the Second Amendment. What do you mean, Second Amendment? What are you talking about, Xavier? Second Amendment is from 1790. It's long ago. Why is this page not loading? What the hell? Did they just suspend it? What the hell? I can't get to that page now. It's just blank. There it is. All right, but it won't come up. Page won't come up now. Thank you for the super... Where's that? Thank you, Peter Pumpkin Eater. Just big thanks. Small contribution. Thank you for the 14 rand. Page won't load. Wow. Yeah, you don't need an international driver's license coming to America. Nope. Wow, look at that. They just shut down the page. What the hell? What the hell? Vero Beach? It's in California. Looks like you've taken a detour off the crowdfunding trail. Really? It looks like the page was taken down. Wow, look at that. I made a donation and the page went down. What the hell? Does anybody else be able to donate? What about the Second Amendment? I don't understand. What's your question about the Second Amendment? What don't you understand, Xavier? Use my CIA link. I don't have a CIA link. What do you mean? What's the question on the Second Amendment? You're being cryptic. What are you asking for? A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of free people, the right to keep and bear arms should not be infringed. What's unclear about that? Oh, sorry, I was coughing. Sorry. Can anybody see my donation? Can anybody see my donation? Yeah, they're blocking us. Wow. That's unreal. Back a Buddy site's up. Oh, no. I can't get to any other campaign. They're all doing this. I went to the top page and they got campaigns on here and none of them are coming up. Mic is not off. The mic is on. Okay. Etienne Bronkhorst just made a successful donation. Well, could somebody please tell me what the amount is? Thank you, Etienne Bronkhorst. Thank you. Can you tell me what the amount is? Whoever's got the page open, what is it up to? Because it was $17,000 before I donated. I gave $2,000. Angela, I'm not going to go check my bank for pending transactions. I'm broadcasting right now. Back a Buddy page won't load for Eric either. Cannot find the fundraiser. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Evil, evil, evil. Wow. Okay, I just got the Snameman page opened up. She's raising $133,000. So this page just opened. That took a few minutes. Maybe their site was just acting up. Let me try it again. Okay. See if it'll come up now. Nope, it's not coming up. That one took a while to load. Looks like it's not working, folks. Wow. Isn't that interesting? 17,000. Well, I gave 2,000, so then it's lying. Yeah, look at that. Sound is fine. Stop being a troll. So when it loads that page, it came up and said 0, and then it went to, oops, it seems you've taken the wrong page. Yeah, this is what it tells me. Wow. Thank you, Rentia, for saying 17,000. Yeah. So I did a screen capture, and let me find that, downloads. It said that I was successful. So here you go. Wait a second, Voice of a Miracle. What, did I just donate 2,000 to that one again? What the heck? Did they take the money and put it over there? What the heck's going on with this site? Yeah, I may have just given $200 to the previous one I gave to, or not $200, $100 the place I previously gave to. Back a Buddy's got a real problem here. Pages aren't loading. Wow, that's unbelievable. Okay, check this out, folks. Check this out. I just typed in Voice of a Miracle, okay? And I get this one here, which is the farm attack. That's what I searched for. I didn't search for this. And then it's going to go here and not do anything. Unbelievable. Wow. So search for this again. I'm not clearing my browser's cache. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to reset 1,500 passwords. Not going to do that. Yeah, their servers crash. Yeah, Back a Buddy's screwed. Well, their main page, yeah, now they're having problems. Yep. I think it's a denial of service attack. Just my expectation. Anyway, wow. Not clearing my cache. Not going to do it. We couldn't all be having the same problem in it. I realized I was part of WhatsApp groups here from here, so I unsubbed and wanted to give space to us. Well, that's fine. Okay. Barushka, what's going on? My Nigerian tenant just received 2,000. Yeah, ha ha ha. That's not funny. Wow. Yeah, back a buddy. Not working. Highly unreliable site. I think it's a denial of service attack. Yep. Yep. Maybe bring up the back of buddy at the end as well when the page stabilized. No, I've been trying every couple minutes, but yeah, it's definitely a problem there. Yeah, and we're getting close to 100,000, but we're not quite there yet, folks. We're at 98,000. It was 982 when we started the program. 984. We've only gained 2 subscribers in this broadcast. Wow. So, is that right? We only gained 2 subscribers. I had these videos up there getting thousands of views. This one has 6,000 views. It's gained 8 subscribers. And this one has 15 subscribers at 15,000 views. That's the car guard one. Did you guys see that? That's my car guard. That's funny. And are we at 100,000 there yet? Nope, 96,000. Still not 100,000. How is that possible? Okay. Yep. So, yeah. Anyway. Opera, Duck Duck, Air. Yeah, it's them. Yep. Yeah, News 24 has helped me reach your brother, Louis. It's true. I'm still on one of the, I felt was too much. Helps. I'm not sure, Sunstrike, what you're getting at there. Well, Reagan must be taking context and time when the second amendment was written. Correct. People are having other internet problems. I'm leaning towards Solar Storm today. Well, Alan Balladay, it worked fine when I did it for the little girl with the hearing problem. So, yeah, back of buddy's the problem. It's not us. Back of buddy's down. No, I get what you're saying in the WhatsApp group, but I don't understand why you leave it. There's a bunch of WhatsApp groups. So we're at 1,111 viewers currently right now. Be sure to hit the like button, folks, if you don't mind. Yeah. Tried it for 8 countries, all down. Yep, it's just not working. Okay, folks. Well, if it comes up again, then I'll go live and try to make a donation. So now I don't know if they made a donation. In fact, let me go to my bank and look. Someone said your bank, so let me go to my bank and take a quick look here. So let's see. Last time I tried to get my bank, it wanted me to prove who I was again. It's very annoying. My phone wasn't here. Now I can do it. Okay. Yes, I want to verify my identity. Oh, gosh. Send me a text message. Okay, here we go. Stupid stuff. I hate this. Okay. Where's the text message at? See, look at this now. Okay, there's the text message. That's pretty fast. That's good. Okay. Put this code in. Okay. Okay. I'm in now. Okay. Right. Let's take a look and see. Credit card. It should be there if it just went through. Hello. There we go. That's slow. Good Lord. That's a big credit card bill. Nope. Didn't go. Oh, yeah. It's going through. Yeah, it's going through. Yep. It's pending. Back a buddy. June 1st. $114. Yep. Look at that. Look at that. It's pending. So it's hit. It's hit. Interesting. 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 So it's already hit my credit card. So that transaction went through. So there you go. So their site may not be working, but they're charging me. Huh. Maddie Lee Elliott. Yes, good advice. Loretta says, thank you for cake. You're keeping us up to date. Lizette, they do it all the time. The GoFundMe is a corrupt site here of leftists in America that stripped the truckers of all their money that they were donating and never gave back to the people who donated. Cody Nash wants to know what's going on. Tried to access the Back of Buddy campaign. This is the last minute. Oops. Seems you've... Yeah, that's what I got. Thank you for the dinars. 100 dinar. Thank you for that, Rhino Girl. Appreciate that. Mr. Burns of The Simpsons. Interesting. Interesting. How's it going to be with the first group? Are they well settled? Tennis, I haven't talked to most of them in about 4 or 5 days, but I have been in touch with Thea, and she's doing quite well. Next group is settling in as well, too. North Africans and Arabs devastate Paris. Macron got slapped, now Paris getting slapped, too. Yep. Cody Nash is laughing about something. Thank you so much. Okay. What else did I miss here? Yeah, the guy with the car guard is hilarious. I didn't use that. I just made a video about the story. Gerard Jansa Funfurion says the server's not used to the traffic. Your influence is greater than you think. Possibly. I don't know. Possibly. Backup Buddy's got a problem. Yeah, they need an oxygen tank. Yep. Don't put the car guards down, as they're probably more skilled and qualified than the average Joe. Well, that was what my video was about, Steve. That's what I said. Venom, I don't know any white car guards in South Africa. I've never met one. Thanks for the memberships that were donated to Erica. Appreciate that. Okay. Right. What else we got here? Just ignore the ANC. They'll bury themselves. Please give your regards and well wishes. To whom? Tennis? What's Franz Free want to know? How much Social Security money do us have, sir? Huh? What does the U.S. have? None. There is no Social Security money. It's a Ponzi scheme. There isn't a penny in Social Security. They get money every month by stealing it from my paycheck. There's no money. Yeah, Ingrid's inspirations. Mine said successful too, but then I looked at it and it referenced the one that I'd already previously given money to, which didn't make any sense. So, will you be donning blue or black come Saturday? Blue. Blue, Xavier. Social Security number when I au-paired. Any idea if that means I can start looking for a job immediately? Yes, it does, Rentia. Fun Eden. It does mean you can start looking for a job immediately. If you already have a Social Security number, you can start working immediately. Immediately. I like watching the podcast with John and Billy, Colonel. Oh, you're talking about the radio program. Tax is theft, Paul. I agree. Now shows 19. Is it up again? Well, good. 19,000, that would be the 2,000 I donated. Rock says 2,000 William White indicator to show platform fee was covered by donor. Okay, thank you. Chris says Open Plus only has white car guards. Okay, Chris. Oh, there it is. It's up. It's up. All right, now, folks, let's go do it. If you want to help, there you go. William M. Wyatt, 2,000, then 100, then 200, then 100. Braun, 200 from Anonymous. Ingrid gave 40, and Anonymous gave 50. Wyatt Army. There you go, folks. If you want to help these folks, there you go. There you go. There you go. It's working. Yay, it's working. All right. I didn't get put a message. There you go. Wyatt, there you go. There I am right there. Luna put in money, too. Luna beat me. There you go. There you go, folks. Cool beans. Wow, if anybody wants to help, you can do it. You can do it. Now it's working. They got it working again. Cool, cool. I don't know why it told me that I gave that money to the other program. Must just in the cache. 3 Samba Summit made a video stating that refugees in USA are treated so badly. Where does Samba Samba get that nonsense from? They're not being treated badly. Play white car guards. Well, Brother Louis, I don't doubt. I didn't say there weren't white car guards. I said I've never seen one. I've never seen a colored car guard. Never seen an Indian car guard anywhere in my life. And I've been all over South Africa. Government complaining that only car guards are going to the USA is hilarious. Maybe if they ran the country better, they'd have more than just car guards left to send. Exactly. Anthony, welcome to you. I had a fab evening with moths. Okay, cool. Mysterious order of the tin hats. White guards in Alberton, Boksburg, and Benoni. Well, Kathy, I don't hang out in Boksburg or Benoni. Although someone mentioned me in Benoni today. All right, so 19,600. Now I'm trying to reload the page. It's they're having problems. Yeah, I hope I shake this flu too, but I think it's just something that's got caught in my lungs now. Back of buddy, slow again. Anyway, but my money went through, so I'm glad to see that. Folks, if you want to support that, feel free to do it. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. You can do it. Car guard, go to America, do the course, and be a security guard. Yeah, exactly. It's not the point, Paul Doveton. There are white car guards, but it's not the point. Yep. Anyway, yeah, the page is down again. Lots in the Vol Triangle. I'm not surprised because industries collapsed there. White car guards in the Vitz Triangle. Okay. Irene Borger, you're in at the time. It stands at 19.6. It's back on. Well, it stopped working for me, Carolyn. Yep. All right, cool beans. Let me try to reload the damn page. Okay. Nope, it's not working again. You should just send cruise ships so we can leave in bigger quantities. Car guard with a degree. You qualify, Chris Ehlers. There are 2 in Zaris, a husband, and they've been car guards for years. Same flu, gone to bronchitis, had it 3 weeks plus. All right, well, thank you for sharing that, Toriko, because I've had this now for 2 weeks. Yep. 3 additional forms to fill in to take a pet over the program. Jean Zelly, I have no idea. No idea. I shipped my pets from the U.S. to Botswana through South Africa, and then I took them to South Africa and shipped my cats from South Africa back to the United States, and that was in 2010. I have no idea what the requirements are. You need to research it on your own. Your friend is Google. Do the research. Don't know why people have such a hard time doing the research. It's not hard. Google is your friend. It's not like 1987 when you had no options. Now you have options. Yeah, it's not working properly. $19,650. It hasn't taken any more donations. So, okay, it's back up now. It's back up. It's back up. So if you want to donate, folks, there it is. 19,650 Rand. Paying money on Sundays always seems to be delayed. I don't know, Kathy. No, that Anna Marie never came back. Seven people are without work when this car guard leaves. It does make me sad. I have years of relationships. Institute Race Relations on 8th and Jazzy Law Student, new BE regs. Any knowledge or studies on who sold slaves from Guinea and Togo in 1658? You're correct, Anime. The Dutch East India Company bought slaves from Africa and from Asia because the Khoi wouldn't be slaves. That's why I find it funny when they talk about the Khoi and San were enslaved. They weren't. The San were hunted down like animals by early settlers in the Western Cape. That's a statement of fact. There was a bounty on actually killing them as if they were like animals. And the Khoi, they tried to enslave and it just didn't work. They'd sit there and be beat to death rather than work. In Boksburg, you don't get a girl, you just get a turn. Ooh, that's just messed up. Milk and Honey's back. All these questions, honestly, like, she's giving South Africans a bad rep. It makes us seem like we're too lazy to actually look and research for yourself. Yep. Stop drinking coffee and Coke for less sinus congestion. I don't drink coffee, and Coke actually has acid. That's not going to hurt your congestion. It's going to help it out. Going to have clear indication for future. What if Trump is voted out? We might all have... Okay, gosh. Okay, I mean, guys. Oh, my gosh. Trump cannot run for president again. He's done. We have a constitution, and it prohibits the president from running. He's got 2 terms. He's done. That's it. That's it. It has nothing to do with anything. I know. Gosh, bless it. You guys really frustrate me sometimes. How many times do I have to say this? Why do you panic and spread gossip and rumors? You South Africans, this nonsense gets old. Oh. Oh, boy. Constitutional amendment which bars the president from serving more than twice. No person, the 22nd Amendment, shall be elected to the office of president more than twice. There you go. 1951, after King Franklin Roosevelt. Trump can't run. It has nothing to do with it. Why would you be shit? Oh gosh. Please listen. There's over 1,000 people here now. And please tell people this, because I'm frankly getting tired of saying this so many times. It does not matter who is in the White House or who controls the House and the Senate. It does not matter. Once granted refugee status, the only way you lose it is through fraud, or if the underlying conditions that led to your departure from the location you came from are ameliorated. Does anybody think the ANC is going to remove 140 racist laws? Not going to happen. Not going to happen. They cannot revoke your refugee status. It's there. It's in the law. They would have to pass a law to change that. Highly unlikely. No refugees ever leave America. Are you listening to the words coming out of my mouth? No refugees ever leave America. That's why I hate the refugee program. I hate it. Because it's supposed to give temporary refuge to people. They can go home when things get better. But the Iraqis are still here. The war's over in Iraq. The Afghans are still here. The war's over. They still want to live under Sharia. The Bosnians are still here. They could have gone back. They stay here. No one ever leaves. The Liberians were given 3 years protected status, and they're still here 35 years later. Good Lord. 1,000 times I've covered this. It's working. Alan gave 200 Rand. Thank you. And Gordon gave. Susan Berger. Morsh gave 200. Varoshka gave 100. All right, so it's working again. Cool beans. And don't tell me to calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. It's my program. If I want to raise my voice, I'll raise my voice. If you don't like it, you can watch something else. You can watch something else. No, not new. That's why I lost my temper. Not new. That person is not new. Not new. Bye, Grant. Take care. Take care. Enjoy your day. Take care. 20 of you left. Good riddance. Don't bother coming back. Pathetic children. Bye. Enjoy your Sunday. Ich habe eigentlich die Nase voll gehabt von solchen faule Leute. Faule Leute. Ja, ich zeig mal die Hase. Ja, die Hase zeigen. Ja, guck mal da. Guck mal da. Ja. Ja, da ist unser Freund. Unser Freund. Die Bugger of Bunny. Die Fuckel-Hase. Ja. Und sein Kumpel kommt jetzt. Unten. Guck mal. Ja, da ist er. Da ist er. Guck mal, da ist er. Ja, kommt er jetzt? Ja. Zeig mal. Guck mal da. Ja. The person who asked the question isn't new. The person who asked the question has been here for a long time. And I'm not angry at that person, but I'm tired of the nonsense. The issue is getting medical devices on a flight aboard. That's a good question, Janine. And that's one that I hadn't been asked before. But people fly all the time with medical issues on commercial flights. I don't think it's going to be a problem. What is the age for coming to the U.S.? There is no age for coming to the U.S., Bella. Newborns come to the U.S. 90-year-olds come to the U.S. Martin says the same questions keep popping up every live stream. Exactly. People are too lazy to watch the videos. Again, I spent an hour and a half last night updating the Substack page with all the videos that were relevant since April 13th. Yeah. Arctic is a pilot. No issue with medical devices. Thank you, Arctic. Ingrid said, I spoke to my son in Louisiana. He said, you're quite the hero amongst South African guys there. Cool. Should we worry if I'm receiving a reply? No, you shouldn't be worried, Leroy the Convoy. As long as you sent it and it went through, you have nothing to worry about. It's just, guys, not Leroy, not directed at you, okay? Why do people assume they're the only ones who sent a statement of interest in? Marco Rubio told Congress last week that 70,000 statements of interest had already been sent in. That was in a week. 70,000 statements of interest had gone into the embassy. 70,000. If we had 1,000 people working on that, that would mean they could get to 70 each. And in a week, do you think they could possibly contact 70 people and set this all up and start investigations? No, come on, guys. Come on. Linziki, scream with me. Arctic says there are some limits. Yeah, because they're explosive. That's a good point, Arctic. Yeah, they're explosive. So, oxygen devices, yeah. Barry Sterling says, we know where you stand with you, no BS. I just think everyone needs to just be patient, chill. Are adult toys considered medical assistance? Well, if you've got some sort of, sexual deviancy that, that's your addiction, I suppose it is a medical device. Come on. My cousin had to get oxygen tank, COPD, accidentally left one, it ran out, and the red tape left him he passed away. Good God. Karen, sorry to hear that. I don't think people trust the Democrats. It's all in my videos. Please go and watch the videos. Exactly. It's in a playlist. There's a playlist, and then there's a Substack. Yep. Du bist sehr böse. Oh, am I really mean? I don't think so. Did we say we could uns dutzen? Habe ich das Sie, also habe ich das Erlaubnis Sie gegeben, mich zu dutzen? Ja, das habe ich nicht erinnert. Sowas habe ich nie gemacht. Wir dutzen uns nicht. Please watch Colonel's content. You don't ask the question 50 times. Tarico Railways, Elizabeth, I wasn't calling you out. I was calling out the question. So thank you for being here. I know you're not leaving. You're a valued viewer. But these people, I'm out. Then leave. Leave. Don't announce. It's not an airport. This is Bob McGillicuddy. I'm out of here. He hurt my feelings. Oh, he's meanie. Oh, he raised his voice. It hurt my sensitive ears. Paul, he raised his voice. He hurt my ears. It's so mean. That mean old Santa. He's a terrible person, man. He hurt my feelings. He raised his voice. It was so loud. It hurt my feelings. My nipples are sore now. But it was a shock. Even my nipples hurt. It's terrible. It's terrible. He's such a meanie. Terrible, terrible person. No, I wasn't swearing in German, Mush. Arctic says, now you're in the crowd. If you start speaking French, run. Ah ouais, il a raison, parce que quand je parle français, c'est vraiment, je suis en colère. Si je suis en colère, vous regardez ici, parce que quand je parle en français, c'est toujours quelque chose de très mauvais. Très mauvais. Don't let the door hit you. Hey, Jose da Silva, man, how you been? Well, I'm new and just asked a question. Jean, what question did you ask? Jean? Did I answer your question? Apologies. Do you know if there are issues getting medical devices? Okay, I answered that already. Okay. Schweinhold. Whoop op kak praat en lies. Yeah, exactly. Francois Moleman. All right, what is the age? Already got that. Blood pressure. Guys. 128 over 70. Relax, my blood pressure is fine. Okay. Doing such a good service, these people, but they're so stubborn. Yep. Gotta love you, says Alan. Okay. Yes, I've read The Art of War, Tian. Yes. We teach The Art of War along with the Arthur Shastra and then Alfred Thayer Mahan's, and all these guys, Cordell Hull, all of these military theorists we teach at the Army War College. One of my favorites is the Arthur Shastra, which is an Indian one. Yeah. The Art of War really doesn't do much for me, but yeah, Sun Tzu. Hey, Gabi. Take a bugger off bunny with. What's this? Gene, what's your question? I see I'm a little behind the chat. What's your question? Daniel says, I wish I could understand what you're saying now. I wish I could understand what I was saying. Oh, I love your rant. It wasn't much of a rant, guys. And that's back to the alt toys. Okay. I'm trying to find Gene's question here. Ludwig Momo is here. Welcome. Kimberly Benedict. I tried to donate 4 times and give up. Yeah, it's up to 20,000 now. Looks like it's working again. Well, it's just really slow. Pop up stupid questions. Yeah, we should do that. Now I'm definitely staying just for your sense of humor and entertainment, says Urban Homestead. We have 2 languages. If refugee arrives and are in need of medical operation, will be assisted and paid. I don't know the exact answer to Mulder, but if you have an emergency, you can't be denied care. It's illegal. It's illegal. Yeah. Someone's nipples hurting. Honestly, you came at the right time. Lizette, you're welcome. Herr Oberst, Sie haben vielleicht so viele bei die Deutschen angelernt, was die meisten Südafrikaner nicht verstehen würden. Ah, excellent, Sean. Glad to see your understanding. Don't speak to many people about my interest in the program, but a handful I did speak to don't know anything about how to express interest. Well, then tell them to go to the website. It's 21,000 now. It's working. Peter Pumpkin Eater, Anthony Clark, and Alan McGonigal gave stuff. Cool bean. So we're up to 21,000, folks, from 17. Okay. Northern Sotho in German school. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm still looking for Jean's question. Jean, are you still here? Did she leave? Kevin Johnson, how many refugees have already gone USA? People do rise colonel as an actual colonel. You had a whole career of dressing people down. I didn't dress many people down in my career. I didn't have to. So I didn't need permission from his father. Michelle Croaga, yeah, you're going to need permission from the natural parent to take your child out if the parent is not married to you and not going with you. Absolutely. I don't know what that entails. The embassy can tell you that when they call you in for an interview. I believe you probably are correct. It's an affidavit, but I'm not an attorney, so don't want to mislead you. Yes, I've read Animal Farm in 1984 and Catch 22 by Joseph Heller as well. Yeah, I'm going to try to go back and find Jean's question here, Jean's question. I would love if you could do an analysis, Piers Morgan panel. Oh, that's a waste of time, Super D. Dan Quarter's not worth my time. Easily offended, should never join the Army. Exactly. What is North Carolina like? It's beautiful, but hot and humid in the summertime, Fabian. Oof, hot and humid. Better in western North Carolina in the mountains. You get into the Appalachians, but North Carolina, it's also way overpopulated, and yeah, it's not my cup of tea. Nice place. Refugee program affidavits. Okay, so Renchi is telling how it works, okay? Is there a choosing order when they are connecting people, or are they just responding to the order they receive? I have no idea, Gabi. We don't know. They're not telling us. Evening, Colonel. See, the dummies is getting your blood pressure. I'm fine. Okay. I think that Jean must have left. So I don't even know what Jean's question was. So I don't know. Did I answer it? Did I address it? I don't know. Still trying to find Jean's question. I'm going way back in the chat now. It's as far as I can go, and I see nothing. Why are my timestamps not here? This is very annoying. Timestamps. Yeah. Yeah, people wouldn't make it in the military. Snowflakes. Val wants to know if the lady was here who was afraid for her dogs. Yeah, I don't know. That lady never responded. The South African community is saying only 49 people have been accepted as refugees. That's why people are worried. Well, that's simply a lie. What South African media is saying that? What South African media is saying that? VJ says, can you comment on the food quality in the U.S.? Heard lots of bad things about additives and chemicals. You can get whatever you want in America. We have vegans. We have organic farms all over the darn place. If you've got a problem with processed food, you can find food that isn't processed. Just a little pricey, that's all. There's nothing wrong with the food in this country. People are funny. Tell them, Colonel. Who wants a sandwich, Storm Chaser? Dodgy French again, says Hendo. Now my feeling is hurt. Oh, you guys are killing me. But wait, look, a squirrel. What are we talking about again? Equal Odyssey, that's good. Now my feelings hurt. Oh, wait, it's a... Wait. It's a squirrel. What were we talking about? That's good. Modern Neanderthals can watch videos and do research. Krista says, Alts was asking because my 21-year-old boy is severe dyslexia and find it difficult to find employment. Okay, I missed your question, Krista van Aarde. But we have folks that can help with dyslexia in America. No, you're not mean, just logical, direct, and passionate about things that matter. Not mean at all. I prefer people who know where we stand. Thank you, Ingrid's inspirations. Pat said, I was on my way to the French Foreign Legion to get out of this country. Oh, my goodness. Lots of room in rural America, even in blue states. Avoid the big cities. And Momo, 99,000. Woohoo. Did I get 99,000? Did we reach it? Oh, we're 99,013. Wow. Can we possibly make it? I have no idea what he said. Okay. Anton Mulder, if refugee arrives and okay, I already answered that question. Sorry. I was trying to find Gene's question. Never did see it. Super D, I would love it if you could do an analysis. Okay, that was the Piers Morgan thing. Sorry, guys. I'm losing my spot here. Okay. All right, guys. It's an hour and 45 minutes. Probably time to wrap up here. Thanks for being here. Hey, Peter. How's it going? Why are red states not good? Who said red states are not good? There's no such thing as red states and blue states. That's a fiction created by analysts to describe America. Look at a map of America and look where the red is. We're predominantly conservative. It's 85, 90% of the surface area of the country. Yep. I didn't roast any troll. Unless you're talking about the guys who said they're out of here. Yep. Siberian blizzard. Okay. Zenobia. Well, you can go back and watch them from the beginning if you like. Please do that. I'm sorry, Loretta, I missed your question. What was your question? What will be the expectation for pensioners as far as contributing to the economy? Well, I have talked about that, Creek, in my videos. I've talked about it endlessly. It's a fair question. You're expected to work. If you're retirement age, then you'll probably wind up getting Social Security supplemental, which is enough to live off of, so you're probably going to want to work. Nevada's the best state, says Pablo Charlie. That's a nice place, but I wouldn't say it's the best state. Really hope Republicans elect after Trump. So do I. Thank you, Johannes Holzhausen. Okay, guys, you'll be directed to Ronaldo's chat if you want to go over there. So, Ronaldo, if you want to go watch Ronaldo, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. So let me turn off my Trump baby thing. And thanks for being here. Y'all take care and have a good day. And we'll chat soon. Thanks a lot, everybody. Bye-bye. Cheers.